In the headlines, Senate President Ahmed Lawan decries lack of CCTV in Kuje prison after ISWAP attack. Court disqualifies Oborewari as PDP governorship candidate, recognizes a Debbie. 100 days without breadwinner, wife speaks on abduction of husband in Abuja Kaduna train attack. And on the international scene, former Japan Prime Minister Shinzo Abe dies after being shot at stump speech in Nara. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. Now the news in detail. President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan has said that Tuesday's attack on the Kuje Median Security Custodial Center by terrorists speaks volume after the failure of the country's security architecture. Lawan stated this on Thursday when he led a delegation of the leadership of the Senate to assess the level of attack on the correctional facility by insurgents. According to the Senate President, an attack on Kuje Median Security Custodial Center could only be possible with the collaboration of insiders within the nation's correctional system. The Senate President asked the Controller General of the NCS to include a request for the provision of CCTV across maximum and median correctional centers across the country in its 2023 budget proposal to the National Assembly for approval.
Showing the problems associated with our security system in the country. Because for about 300 people to trek to this facility, come and do this kind of operation, and go away. And out of the 300, maybe 4 were taken out. Says a lot about what our security situation is. So if this is what it is in the FCT, in other areas far away from the center of government will be worse.
You're here where intelligence is supposed to be shared. You cannot have 300 people walking, moving at the same time together, and you say that the security agencies could not trace them, they could not even intercept information. It's a very serious matter, because this is the Federal Capital Territory, just like His Excellency the Senate President has said. How is it possible that you could have this attack in the Federal Capital Territory, and they were able to gain access and leave without any heavy or serious resistance? I believe that the security agencies should put their heads together. Our various committees on security, intelligence, and even interior will be engaging very seriously.
The Westminster Magistrate Court in United Kingdom ruled Thursday that David Mwamini, the alleged organ harvesting victim in the case involving former Nigerian Senate President Ike Ekweremadu's case, is not a minor. The court issued the order during the appearance of Ike Ekweremadu and his wife in court for the third time on Thursday. Mwamini, allegedly trafficked by the couple to harvest his kidney for their ailing daughter, told doctors he was 15. The Westminster magistrate, according to BBC, while confirming that Mwamini was not a minor on Thursday, also ordered that the Ekweremadus remain in the custody of Met Police till August 4. Their bail application is to be heard at the next hearing. Still on legal matters, the Federal High Court Justice Taiwo in Abuja has disqualified Sharif Oborewari, the candidate of the Delta State People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the 2023 governorship election. Delivering judgment, Justice Taiwo agreed with the plaintiff that Oborewari ought not to be on the 2023 governorship election for the PDP on account of submitting alleged false and forged documents to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). The judge subsequently directed INEC and the PDP to recognize the plaintiff as candidate of the PDP in the 2023 governorship election in Delta State. Oborewari, who is the Speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, had emerged candidate of the PDP in the May 25th primary election for the selection of its governorship flag bearer. However, Olorogun David Edebi, a former commissioner of finance under former governor James Ibori, who came second in the primary, had contended Oborowori's participation in the primary on the grounds of alleged discrepancies in his academic qualifications as well as his age. He urged a court to bar PDP from submitting Oborowori's name as the flag bearer of the party. And hundreds of intending pilgrims from Kano will not perform this year's Hajj after they were left stranded at the Mwamini Kano International Airport. A mild drama ensued as one of the intending pilgrims left stranded insisted on completing the Hajj at transit camp in Kano. The report.
One of the stranded intending pilgrims, Jibril Abdul from Gezawa local government area of Kano State, became the center of attraction after he was sighted dressed in a white robe and declaring that he has already started his pilgrimage at the camp. He said that he sold his farmland just to go for the pilgrimage but left stranded because some unruly officials made it impossible for him and several others to be airlifted.
I initially paid 1,200,000 naira. Later they said we should balance 1,300,000 naira, which I all did. But here we are today. No one is telling us anything, which means we are not going to Jeddah anymore.
Aside Abdul Jibril, some women intending pilgrims said all those who have hands in their plight will not go unpunished.
I've been here for the past 4 days. They say they will take us to Saudi Arabia. Our center officers have deceived us because they have all left to Saudi, leaving us here. We only pray that whatever they have done to us, God should also do the same thing to them.
At least 745 intending pilgrims were left stranded at the Mwamini Kano International Airport in Kano on Thursday after the last Saudi-bound flight departed the airport around 3:45 p.m.
After more than 100 days in captivity, the family of one of the abducted victims of the Abuja Kaduna train attack has told Trust TV that the family is surviving by the mercy of God, as the trauma from the kidnap of their loved one has taken an alarming toll on them. Hafsat Bukar, the wife of one of the abductees and mother of two, says life has become unbearable with her husband still in the forest and a male child continually asking when his father is coming back home. The report.
Hafsat Bukar lived at Rigasa community in Kaduna with her husband until his abduction by terrorists who attacked the Abuja-Kaduna train. She says for over 100 days now, life has been unbearable as she and her two children continue to rely on God for the safe return of their father.
Rayuwa sai dai mu ce alhamdulillah. Mun gode wa Allah shi ya daura mana jaraba wannan kuma shi.
We thank God, but it is not easy. But we believe in God and people around help us to survive. We have faith in God that they will definitely come back. We live in agony when my husband is in captivity.
Su kuma Allah ya fito mana da su lafiya cikin aminci da salama.
An atmosphere of loneliness reigns in their home despite the presence of the wife and children. This vacuum is what has exacerbated the trauma.
Dole ne za ka ji ba daɗi a ce wanda kake ƙarƙashin shi da 'ya'ya kuke da shi kuma a ce kai kana gida kana ɗaki a rufe kana rayuwa kuma yana jeji.
When your husband is in captivity, we are so lonely. My son cries all the time, asking when is daddy coming back.
Yaushe zai dawo? Tambayan da kullum yake yaushe zai dawo? Shi dadi ba zai dawo ba? To ki kai ni gurin shi, dole ne dama yaro yayi wannan tambayan.
Muhammad Ibrahim is a brother to the victim. He occasionally supports his abducted brother's family as a way of easing the burden occasioned by the brother's absence.
Da ikon Allah insha Allah.
We do our best to support the family. We appreciate the support of friends and neighbors.
He
is my neighbor. We always together with him. We believe in God that he will come back. Why? There is an audio recording in circulation where Ansaru group said they will start slaughtering the kidnapped passengers within 24 hours if government fail to secure the release of the victim, send shivers down their spine. However, Hafsat says they trust in God for safe return of her husband.
Estranged wife of Robinson Uwak, a former Akwa Ibom State federal lawmaker in the 7th National Assembly, has appealed to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, to come to her rescue as she and her children are being threatened with death. Kezia Uwak, at a press briefing, told journalists on Thursday that her estranged husband, who has sworn to kill her and also snatch her kids, has been outlawed. The report. Kezia Uwak, before her marriage to Robinson, was a photographer and content developer. She stopped working and remained a housewife under strict surveillance, adding that since then, she has suffered physical abuses that have left her traumatized. According to Kezia, who is already in court seeking a divorce, she's appealing to well-meaning Nigerians, particularly the Speaker, to intervene in the matter and help her recover her one-year-old twin babies, who the husband forcefully took away.
Please, I'm prevailing on the Speaker, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, to intervene in this matter, because I've seen his antecedents, his track record, for justice for women, and I know him as a talk and do senator, speaker, a talk and do speaker. I know him as a talk and do speaker, and action-taking speaker. So please, I'm asking that please he helps me get my children back, because I don't know where they are. Please help me, and help me get justice in this case.
Kezia also used the medium to deny allegations that the spokesman of the House, Benjamin Kano, is responsible for the crisis in her marriage.
How he feels when he perpetrates and commits all these acts, I have no idea. The first wife also ran away after 5 months. I mean, if he's insecure about everything. The first wife, 5 months, she ran away. She told me his knee was on her nose, that she knew she was going to die that day. He beat her bloody, and their case is still in court. The divorce is still, even as we speak right now, and he's refusing to sign it because he's telling her to remove domestic violence from the allegation or whatever she filed there. So I don't know whether he's insecure or not. I just know that he has perpetrated these acts on me and my family, and has taken my children from me, and I want justice. And I also want to be clear on the fact that Honorable Benjamin Kalu has nothing to do with this whatsoever. He's just only trying to deflect from the actual issues here.
The former lawmaker, who debunked some of the allegations in a telephone interview, confirmed that there have been little misunderstanding among them, adding that the accusations of forceful takeover of the kids as well as violent behavior were untrue. He also confirmed that he went to Calabar to pick the children and accused Kezia of running away for 1 whole month without his consent. You're still watching Trust TV News updates. Coming up after the break. Gombe residents urged to report neglected tropical diseases. This and other stories shortly. Stay with us.
That's right.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust Television. Before the rest of the news, let's take a look at our headlines again. We told you that court disqualifies Obowari as PDP governorship candidate. And moving on to other stories, the government says it has commenced the construction of 5 resettlement cities for use by displaced persons in the country. The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, disclosed this on Thursday while featuring on a weekly ministerial briefing organized by the Presidential Communications Team at the State House, Abuja. She mentioned Borno, Kano, Katsina, Zamfara, Nasarawa and Edo as the states already designated for the pilot phase of the project.
On their role. The Commission, in collaboration with other relevant government agencies and international bodies, facilitated a safe return of Nigerians from Poland, Hungary, Romania, Russia. The recent evacuation from the Russia and Ukraine war. The Commission also facilitated the voluntary repatriations of irregular migrants in collaboration with the IOM from Libya, Morocco, Egypt, South Africa, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, bringing the number to about 16,318.
And to Gombe State, where the state government has called on residents of the state to report cases of neglected tropical diseases, NTDs, to avoid complications. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Habu Dahiru, gave the charge during a meeting to review issues of neglected tropical diseases in Gombe State, organized by Amen Foundation in collaboration with the World Health Organization. Ismail Rahim reports.
Neglected tropical disease (NTDs) are believed to affect over 1.5 billion people globally. They are diseases of the poor and vulnerable and affect the most impoverished, marginalized and hard-to-reach communities in both low and middle-income countries. The devastating impact of these diseases on individuals and communities is an issue of concern to Gombe State government, especially people's misconception about the NTDs.
It is widely known these diseases, as they are commonly called, neglected tropical diseases. In true terms, they were neglected. If you see hydrocele, you see a case. If you look at those pictures, you imagine that they are not even human beings, and they must have had these illnesses for a very long time. And that is why it qualifies it to be it's been neglected. It's supposed to have been picked right from the onset of the illness, but it was not given that attention, and so many myths were attached to it, and people thought they were not even treatable. And now today we're able to address issues of hydrocele, we're able to address hernias, we're able to address TTs, and we'll also establish centers in each of the 11 local governments to screen for cervical cancer and breast cancer.
The president of Amen Foundation urged parents to look after their words to prevent them from contracting NTDs.
Cleanliness is part of it. Even if you don't have safe water, people are advised to boil their water, because if you boil your water before drinking, then you would have killed the worms or germs in it. Hygiene is also another thing. We should keep our environment hygienic. Children should not be allowed to defecate everywhere, especially in streams or ponds that are used as drinking water. And then generally people should observe WASH, that is sanitation and should be able to wash their faces, wash their hands regularly. And if we do that, we would have gone a long way in reducing the endemicity.
Neglected tropical diseases are endemic in Nigeria, as 14 out of the 20 existing NTDs are recorded in the country. They include but not limited to trachoma, bilharzia, snail fever, elephantiasis, and river blindness. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Maiduguri residents have decried the hike in price of bread and other commodities in the market. The high cost of flour and the general impact of inflation on goods and services is threatening bakeries in Maiduguri as they face likely shutdowns. The report.
Bread is one of the most consumed commodities in Maiduguri. This explains its wide patronage around the city. But the recent increase in the price of a loaf of bread is scaring residents and leaving a few hawkers in the street selling the commodity. The high price of flour has led to a reduction in production as well as demand in some factories. Abdullahi Saleh, a baker, says he had no choice but to increase the price per loaf to keep his business running. He's considering shutting down the facility to venture into another enterprise, but he's still making consultations.
The
business is facing serious problem. I am planning to switch to another business. A bag of flour in the market is over 25,000 naira. Sugar is over 20,000 naira. Other ingredients prices has increased. The quality of bread has dropped too. If we will produce good quality, bread of 400 naira, it will cost 800 naira. 200 naira will cost 400 naira. So people will not buy, and we are not happy too. Some residents say the astronomical increase in the prices of goods and services has worsened the present economic challenges facing them. Before, 200 naira bread can serve breakfast for you and your family, but now even 500 naira can't. Because of the expense, I've stopped eating bread. Now I and my family eat only swallow. We even eat it as breakfast. Just managing to sell. Customers don't patronize us like before, despite increasing the price, and nylon is expensive. So we too had to increase our price, and a lot of people are complaining. Government should do something about it. Nigerians on the streets of Maiduguri are hopeful that the government will address the rising inflation to enable small businesses stay aloft.
And more business reports, Nigeria will get the biggest share of the $65 billion funding from the World Bank's International Development Association IDA to African countries. This was announced Thursday when President Muhammadu Buhari joined African leaders in Dakar, Senegal, to launch the largest financial package of $93 billion ever mobilized in the history of the IDA for a robust and resilient economy for Africa. The 28th replenishment package, IDA 20, is also expected to help low-income countries respond to the COVID-19 crisis. The senior special assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, in a statement titled, "At Dakar Summit, Nigeria gets a big slice of IDA financial package," said 70% of the cash, which is $65 billion of the entire package, which amounted to $93 billion, will be channeled to various African states, with the largest share being allocated to Nigeria. President Buhari said the package will prioritize some key areas such as agriculture and food security, human capital, climate change adaptation, bridging the gender gap, job creation, digital and technological innovation, among others. And on the foreign scene, the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is dead after being shot on Friday while delivering a stump speech in the western city of Nara 2 days ahead of a national election, a ruling party source said. A former Japan's longest-serving leader was attacked by a 41-year-old man from behind at around 11:30 a.m. when he was speaking in front of Railway's Yamato Seidaiji station. Police said, adding he collapsed to the ground after 2 shots were heard. He was rushed to hospital with blood seen on his shirt. Tetsuya Yamagami, a resident of Nara, was arrested at the scene of suspicion of attempted murder. And the police said the suspect was formerly a member of the Maritime Self-Defense Force, according to government sources. And finally, in sport, Rafael Nadal announced Thursday that he was withdrawing from the Wimbledon after failing to recover from an abdominal injury, ending his hopes of a calendar Grand Slam. Semi-final opponent Nick Kyrgios will receive a walkover into Sunday's final, where he will play either top seed or 6-time champion Novak Djokovic or Britain's Cameron Norrie. Nadal, a 22-time Grand Slam champion, struggled with the injury on a grueling 5-set win against 11-seed American Taylor Fritz on Wednesday. Spanish sports daily Marca reported on Thursday that Nadal has a 7mm tear to the abdomen but had still intended to play. But the 36-year-old scheduled a press conference at which he confirmed he was withdrawing from the competition. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.